Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to highlight some pretty cool information that has come out. Well, one of them is pretty cool. The other, not so much, but some awesome games have made a comeback to Steam after being pulled for a while. The Walking Dead games have made a return, and that's really cool to see, given that Telltale Games is back in, well, the game, and they're developing a lot of titles. Wolf Among Us Season 2 is happening. A lot of good stuff is happening. So great to see that come back, and I'll go over that. And also some very interesting information as to why Cyberpunk 2077 possibly may have seen its big delay, a 5-month delay right ahead of the game's release. Game was supposed to come out in under 3 months, and now it's been delayed for 5 months. A steep delay like that. A lot of questions will be raised, and we'll go over that after we talk Walking Dead. So yes, the Walking Dead games have made a triumphant comeback onto Steam. They were pulled for a while with all of the ongoings with Telltale Games, them going under and all that kind of stuff. You'll notice that for the Walking Dead games, it does note that Skybound Games, the publisher, that's a brand new publisher, so Skybound Games did take the helm of Telltale, and now they're working with Telltale to get all of these games out. Walking Dead is a tremendous series of games. I played through Walking Dead Season 1 and 2, and I played through a lot of Season 3. And I had a phenomenal time with it. I did kind of fall off a little bit, but nonetheless, the time I spent with Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 in particular really hit home with me. Season 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, and the narrative in that game is so strong. Obviously, they have to be since these are narrative-driven games, but an incredibly emotional game that you really can't get into talking about without spoilers. But they are phenomenal games. Even so, I would not buy them right now just on the basis that they are a little bit pricey. Walking Dead Season 1, it seems like the MSRP of that has been docked down. It's now $14.99, which is pretty good, but you still want to wait for a Steam sale, a humble bundle, something like that. I imagine a Steam sale will knock down Walking Dead Season 1 to like $3.74. Same can be said for Season 2, and final season, maybe that'll be down to like $5 or $7 around that range, and that should be the range you're paying for. And I believe Humble has done a Telltale bundle in the past, so if they do something like that, that's when you want to buy these games. At this point, it's just cool to see them back, and now people are going to have the option to buy these games. However, if you are trying to be the financially minded gamer that is trying to get the best value possible, right now would not be the ideal time to buy these games, but it's just nice to see them back on store shelves, and it's nice to see Telltale Games back in action. Wolf Among Us is, in my opinion, Telltale Games' best title, and when we heard that Season 2 was canceled, that was a huge bummer to me, but now Season 2 is back in development. We should be getting that sometime in 2020 or 2021, and that'll be a great release. But for now, if you've never checked out the Walking Dead games, at the very least, add them to your wish list for now, and when they do go on sale, definitely pick those up, because classic titles. And at this point, Walking Dead Season 1 was released all the way back in 2012. If you are a younger consumer, maybe you didn't even live through the craze of Walking Dead and how great those games were, it would be a great idea to familiarize yourself with the franchise, because they are fantastic. Alright, moving on from that, Cyberpunk 2077's delay has been a much talked about topic. According to a Polish insider, the main reason for Cyberpunk 2077's delay, and this is going to annoy a lot of PC gamers, lies in the current-gen consoles, which are reportedly not powerful enough to run the game properly. I talked about this game when Cyberpunk 2077 was really coming together. I was like, man, with how good Witcher 3 looked and with how, mixed bag it was of a game to run on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the base models, not like it was an absolute train wreck, but it wasn't the best running game in the world. I was really questioning, man, is Cyberpunk 2077 gonna run that smoothly? Because the imperative had always been Cyberpunk 2077 is around the same size as The Witcher 3, but you're talking about Night City, the world of Cyberpunk 2077, being a much denser world. The issue with a more dense world is the fact that that is gonna be a lot more difficult to run. So if you're making a game that's even more ambitious technically than The Witcher 3, how are those base consoles going to manage running those games? That's been a question that I had been constantly asking, but CD Projekt Red constantly reassured us that, yeah, these games were designed for the current gen consoles in mind, but if this is to be believed, obviously last week CD Projekt Red officially delayed their highly anticipated RPG Cyberpunk 2077 all the way to September of 2020, so that's a deep delay. We're talking 5 months, 3 months ahead of the game's release. That's kind of a nuisance, but nonetheless, the studio explained that the game is finished and playable, but they still need more time to squash bugs and fix many glitches that are present in the current build. Now, that verbiage does make me think that, yeah, the issues do lie from a technical standpoint, and the issues lying within the current-gen consoles makes a lot of sense. This is probably one of the reasons why CD Projekt Red decided to delay the game, but according to Polish insider Boris Niespiliak, current generation consoles are actually the main problem for the developers. Speaking in a podcast which you can watch at the link below, Nispelak says the original Xbox One console is not powerful enough to run the game properly, and apparently Cyberpunk 2077's performance on the console is extremely unsatisfactory. Sources to him confirmed that if this problem with the Xbox had not been solved by January 2020, then the release date must be postponed, and that would make a lot of sense. It's January 2020, the release date had been postponed because those bugs, glitches, and whatever, those can be present in the PC version of the game, but this release date was planned back in June, and they made a big deal of announcing the release date for the game, and that's what's annoying me more than anything, is that these games that are making such a big deal out of announcing their release date, they're making the event of announcing their release date a big event, so to speak. Last of Us Part 2 just did it. They made a PlayStation Access event to announce Last of Us 2's release date, and then Cyberpunk 2077 was so hyped up leading into E3 of 2019, and then what happens? These games ultimately get delayed anyway. I get it. I know what everybody is gonna go back to, the same generic statement over and over again that's getting a little bit redundant and honestly a little bit of a nuisance at this point for me to see it over and over again. It's that picture with Miyamoto, a broken game released is broken forever, but a delayed game is only delayed once and then you'll get a good game. Whatever. My problem is I wouldn't get consumers so excited and make it a big event out of announcing these release dates. If you gotta delay a game, that's fine. I just don't want to see delays over and over again, and we're seeing that in gaming altogether. Cyberpunk 2077, Dying Light 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us Part 2, Marvel's Iron Man VR just got delayed. Every game is literally getting delayed. I was talking constantly about how early 2020 looked to be a stacked lineup of games. Marvel's Avengers, another one. It looked to be the stacked lineup of game releases, and then all of these games are just getting hit with delays, and now they're all coming right ahead of the release of the next generation consoles, and that's a little bit of an issue too. You imagine that a portion of the audience does want to save their money for the next generation consoles, and when you're talking about all these major games, Cyberpunk, Marvel's Avengers coming out right before the next gen consoles, obviously I know a lot of my audience, they have no interest in the next gen consoles. A lot of you guys probably want to get a PS5 to complement your PC, however. And with all of these games coming out around the same time, that is going to cause a little bit of a financial strain, but still, going back to the issue of the Xbox One being a problem with Cyberpunk 2077, again, we don't know for sure if this is the case. However, Polish players are pretty confident in the source, who seems to be as renowned as Jason Schreier in Poland, and Jason Schreier is pretty notable, so I'm led to believe that this is relatively accurate. It's just a bummer because Cyberpunk 2077 for the first half of 2020 was really that game I think a lot of people were looking forward to. Yeah, there's Last of Us Part 2 on PlayStation 4, yeah, there's Final Fantasy VII Remake, but those aren't even going to be out on PC. Probably with both of those games, they will be out on PC at some point. But now when you're looking at the first half of 2020, it's not looking horrible. We've got Doom Eternal, we've got the Resident Evil 3 remake, there's still some good stuff coming to PC, don't get me wrong on that, but when you remove Cyberpunk 2077, suddenly when you remove Dying Light 2, which I think was a major release schedule for spring, you also remove Marvel's Avengers, and Marvel's Avengers was one of those games that looked really iffy to me, and I think it was a game that could really use a delay, but Cyberpunk 2077, we're looking at this game, and it looked pretty polished, it looked pretty on point, but a lot of the gameplay that we've been seeing was probably running on a high-end PC, and if this is to be believed, we haven't seen the game run on the base Xbox One, and they do specifically single out the Xbox One, which is interesting. The Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are relatively comparable in terms of performance and things like that. Obviously, the One X is considerably more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro, but when you're looking at the base consoles, they are relatively comparable, so very interesting in this shaping up. I imagine that this is going to be a very big annoyance to a lot of PC gamers, and if this does end up being true, maybe we'll never know, but imagine that. PC players have to wait an additional 5 months because the game isn't running that well on consoles. The PC notion has always been, man, these consoles are a little bit lacking, and that's always affected the PC gaming experience to an extent. Some games do have to be hampered down a little bit. If they were designed for PC exclusively, obviously the shackles would completely come off, but now you're also noticing delays if this is to be believed, which is a little bit crazy, but that's going to conclude this video, guys. Again, the Walking Dead titles have made a return onto Steam, so that's great to see, and let me know your thoughts about the Cyberpunk 2077 delay. If this is the actual reason, how does that make you feel? Do you understand where they're coming from, or are you a little annoyed that the Xbox One may have been the reason for Cyberpunk being delayed? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.